Next, we have Who Runs the World. As per Beyonce's lyrics, if this card is played on you, you may only use female Pokemon for the duration of the episode as they run the world.
Who run the world?
Girls.
Who run the world?
Girls.
Who run this mother?
Girls.
What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to another Cardlocke here on the Pokemon Arcade channel. You all know me. I'm Jordan.
And I'm John.
We're going to keep doing that just like we did in the last series, even though it's kind of corny. We are here for the Fire Red Leaf Green Cardlocke. We're going to start out with some shout-outs. Shout out to Raph over at Wise Digital Designs for the layout. Shout out to Foul Plays for the intro animation. And shout out to Scott for the intro and outro music. And actually, now that I'm mentioning that, shout out to Raph again for the outro card designs. Looking clean. All right, I'm going to be playing Leaf Green, and John's going to be playing Fire Red.
Yep.
We've made some changes to the rules. We're going to go ahead and run into the game. Figure? We'll go ahead and get started moving along, you know, select boy, girl, all that kind of stuff, while we're going over the changes. So in the previous Cardlocke, if you guys watched, basically whoever got to a gym leader or rival battle or there's some other major event that we kind of, you know, handpicked as we went, that person would draw a card, and that is how you got cards in the Cardlocke. However, this time, to get more cards into the fray, we are actually reducing the number of events but increasing the draws. So what we will be doing is we start with 2 decks each. Each of us has a deck of 12?
11.
11?
Yeah.
Okay. Each of us has a deck of 11 buffs and 11 nerfs. At the beginning of the game, we will each draw 1 buff and 1 nerf, and from then on, we will draw only one card. We will draw a card from each deck after every badge, and then we will choose which card we would like to keep, and we must give the other card to our opponent. And the difference, another difference between that and the last Cardlocke, is that we will both be drawing every time we get to a gym, not whoever's in first place. So for each gym, there will be 4 cards. A lot more play, a lot more things like that. Other important rules are you're limited to only 6 cards in your hand at once. If you draw a 7th card, you either have to discard something or play something immediately. Isn't that right, John?
Yep.
All right. Are you going to be a boy or a girl?
I'm a boy.
All right.
You want to know what I named my rival?
What's your rival's name?
It's Jordan.
Now, guess what my rival's name's going to be?
Gary.
B. Speedruns.
Ah.
Anyway.
I'm such a fool. Wait, I can change it.
No, you can't.
Yes, I can.
I should have waited. Anyway, that is the main changes to the way the game is going to work. We have a bunch of new cards, some old cards. We are going to get our starters and then go over those and then draw our first cards, and that will be episode 1 for you guys. That way we can start episode 2 with our decks and starters in hand and begin the versus part of this versus Cardlocke. Anyway, John, do you have anything to say to the people as we're starting the series? I've talked a lot.
We should probably explain all the new cards.
I said we were going to do that after we got the starters.
Oh.
Were you listening to me?
No.
We are not currently in a versus, by the way. We are just going to get on our way, get our beautiful old starters, see what we're working with. This will not be a choose your starter, only because we are busy people with full-time jobs, and we want to bulk record a little bit and get you guys some awesome content coming. Whew, there's going to be no break. No break in the Cardlocks. It's going to be amazing. You guys are going to love it. I've announced it in Soul Link, but haven't dropped any announcement videos or anything like that. This is going to be a short episode. Well, we have a lot of cards to go through.
Yeah.
We have 22 nerfs and 22 buffs, with only 2 repeats, I think. Right, John?
Yeah.
I have to be careful. John's sitting slightly behind me, so when I turn around to look at him, I kind of look away from the microphone, and I have to keep that in mind. Anyway, you guys might notice an increase in audio quality. That is because John and I are both recording on these beautiful AT2020s. A big step up from...
Shout out to Audio Technica.
Oh, I thought you were going to say shout out to...
on my mic.
I thought you were going to say shout out to Brian, the guy who sold us the second mic.
Shout out to Brian. Thanks for the mic.
How do you want to do the starters, John?
Just look at them and pick one.
Just look at them and pick one?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like, do you want me to go one and you do one, or do you want to do like I do all three and then you do all three?
Let's switch off.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna start on the left. Where are you gonna start?
Left.
All right. I'm gonna go first. Okay. I got a Mareep named Bulbasaur. That's pretty dope. We were just talking about this at lunch, how my mascot probably should have just been an Ampharos, because I get one every freaking series.
Are you going to go for the Mareep?
I don't know. I don't know what my other choices are. Make sure you don't accidentally pick your Pokemon. All right, who's your first choice?
Spheal.
Okay, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good ice type. All right, my second is going to be Mudkip.
Oh,
okay.
Nice.
Swanson over from John's team, coming to the Jordan team. All right, I'm hitting B. John, what you got?
Espeon.
Okay, also good. I wonder what its level up moveset's like.
Well, no, either. It's probably not very good.
Yeah, it's hard to say. I mean, is it? You know, it's not a stone. It's friendship at night, right? Isn't that how Eevee does that? Or no, that's friendship by day. Anyway, my third is Tyranitar. Wow, that's a move. But I know for a fact that Tyranitar only knows like one move until level 20.
Yeah. Oh.
So, I don't know that that's the best move there.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay, John, who's your final one?
Granbull.
Okay. So you got 2 second stage final evolutions and a first stage 3-stage evolution Pokemon?
Yeah.
Okay, what are you thinking?
It's a toss up between the Evolution and Spheal.
So, the Evolution. You forget which one it is?
It's the pink one.
Okay. Oh, wait, real quick. I'm going to do a timestamp. You keep discussing your starters, but this is going to be my gameplay for the thumbnail.
All right, so viewers, like, comment, and subscribe. Which Pokemon I should choose?
No, that's not what we're doing. John, you have to pick one.
I'm gonna go for Spheal. I think it's better to have the one that's not fully evolved to start out with.
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with Mudkip because I like.
Because it's
well, it is a regular starter, but like I said, Tyranitar doesn't get moves till late, and the thing about Mareep is that I think Mareep only has Thunder Shock, which means did you already pick your starter?
No.
Okay. Can you get the shot for your starter? Or whichever one you think is the most fun.
Yeah.
And then give me a timestamp.
The other thing I like about Spheal is that it means Gary is taking Granbull.
Oh yeah, that's a good move. What's your timestamp?
Oh, wait, should I read it off of yours?
No.
Okay. 8 minutes, 40 seconds.
Well, actually, yes, in the future we'll read it off of that, but it'll be fine. All right, guys. I'm going to go... So what I was saying about the Mareep, I mean, it might have been inferred based on the thing I said about the ground type, or the electric types, is that it can't hit ground types if it's only got Thunder Shock. And so that's why I'm going with Mudkip.
Yeah.
All right. Mudkip. I'm going to name him Benedict because he's betraying John's team from the past Cardlocke.
Dang you, Cumberbatch.
Not that Benedict. Dang you, Cumberbatch. That's a good name for an episode right there.
What should I name my Spheal?
Man, we're only like 8 minutes into this episode. We're going to be done. What should you name your Spheal, John? What are you thinking?
I'm going to name him Ice Ball.
That's so unoriginal.
Well, what else would I name him? He's a ball of ice.
I don't know. All right, so don't leave because you don't want to start your thing. Come up here next to Oak, just like this.
Okay.
And I'm going to go ahead and save. And we're going to go over all the cards for you guys and draw our first 2 cards each. We will not be doing the choose one and give the other one to your opponent in the very beginning. We are just drawing 2 from our decks. And as you might have imagined, well, actually, maybe you didn't imagine, but you could have. Since we have 22 nerfs and 22 buffs, and each of us has an 11-card deck, and there's only 2 repeats, which means we do not have identical decks. And because we're only guaranteed 8 draws, we will not see every single card, and for every future card lock, we will each have different decks in different times and things like that, and it's just there's a lot more randomness to it, but a lot more card involvement, and that's really what we're going for. I think you guys will enjoy it. We're really excited about it. Hype. And without further ado, John, would you like to start us off? We're going to start with the buffs.
All right, so returning from our previous card lock is the best card of all time, CPR. That one, you can play it immediately after a Pokemon has fainted, allowing you to revive it.
And as we decided in the last series, if you were not able to have a revive at the time that you, so this happened to me right after Mauville, right? Isn't it called Mauville?
Yeah.
Yeah. I always want to call it Maumelle. Whenever it's right after Mauville, I could not buy revives yet, but I had a CPR. So we decided that in that situation, you can immediately stop progressing and go to the Pokemon Center and revive that Pokemon. But if you can have a revive, you have to have one on you when it dies and use it immediately after the battle.
No, not immediately after the battle.
It's in the battle?
In the battle.
Oh, I thought it was after the battle, but okay.
The first turn you switch in, you got to revive it.
So it's kind of a soft revive. I mean, it is a revive, but you have to have immediate usage a lot of the time. And that one, there are 2 of in the decks. So we could potentially both have one. Somebody could get both. Who knows?
That would be nice.
The next card is the real best card for a Nuzlocke, which is the Lazarus Pit, which is you can use a revive anytime on any Pokemon, whether it was dead before you drew that card or not, and there are 2 of those as well.
Next on the list is a new card, my favorite new card, in fact, Pot of Greed.
Ripped right from Yu-Gi-Oh!
It allows you to draw 2 new cards.
That is the only way that you can draw every card in your deck.
Is if whichever one of us has the
is
Pot
whoever
of Greed.
gets a Pot of Greed, and there's only one.
As long as it's not the last 2 in the deck.
Yes, if it's one of your last cards to draw, you will not get it to play, and that's kind of how it's going to work, so that's a fun time there. The next card is a renamed version of one of the cards from last time, and it is known as Grind Time. Better go to the club tonight, y'all. Anyway, that is 10 minutes of grinding, no speed up while your opponent cannot move. Next up, John,
is Mirror, a new card where it reverses the effect of a nerf played on you.
Or any card.
Oh, any card?
Well, I guess it has to be a nerf because of the way it's written.
Yeah.
The technical description is reverse a card effect played on you, so that would be a nerf.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So basically, if you have Mirror and John played a bad card on me, there's not a card like this, but if he played a card on me that made a Pokemon faint, I could reverse it back on him with Mirror.
Yeah. You could.
That's also a rip from a card from Yu-Gi-Oh! We just didn't call it Mirror Force. We only called it Mirror. Next up, we have I Choose You. You get an additional free encounter anywhere in the game. That is another returning card with a better name. John, what do we got next?
Next up, we have Particle Accelerator, which allows you to use speed up for 5 minutes.
While your opponent is moving, just to clarify.
Oh, yeah.
That's like during an episode. That is Flash from last time, just has a better name. Figure that's always fun. We might not remember every one of them, though, so we'll see how that goes. All right, next up, you've got Can't Touch This. Shout out to MC Hammer. You may void the consequences of any one battle if played immediately after the battle. You could also play it during the battle, but it basically you cannot move after you've lost if that's what you're doing. For example, as I just said, if you white out in a battle, you may play this card to void that whiteout.
Next, we have Bulk Ordering.
Sorry, John, I scrolled too far.
It allows you to preview the next 3 encounters on a route, but after you choose which one you want, you have to. Your next one after that is your official encounter.
Yeah, so basically you get some luck. So if you go in, you see like a Ditto, a Pidgey, and a Mewtwo, you can say I want the Mewtwo, but the next Mewtwo you get, you have to catch that one. If it fails or runs or whatever, you don't get another chance.
Yeah.
But it locks you into a specific Pokemon, which is good.
Speaking of Ditto.
I didn't say anything about Ditto, but I know what you're referencing. The next card up is Ditto. You may choose any effect from the... Well, it says 15 other buffs, but we actually have more cards than that. So any effect from the 21 other buffs to and use that effect, basically. It becomes that card.
It's a wild card.
So in that sense, you could actually have 2 Pots of Greed, and both players could draw every card.
Oh, we didn't think about that.
I mean, that works fine, though. I mean, the only time that would be a problem, if you get a Ditto and the Pot of Greed hasn't been drawn and you make it a Pot of Greed, you run the chance that you will not have any cards to use the Pot of Greed for. I mean, you get the cards faster.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's something. It's strategy.
Thinning.
What?
It's called deck thinning.
Ah, fair. All right, John, tell us about the next card.
Next one is Stoner Man. You may generate in an evolution stone of your choice.
Boom. So that helps out a lot in games where they're not purchasable, but they are in this game. So it's funny that we had that one here. But, we were trying to keep ones that would be good on other places, not necessarily good all the time. It's hard to have 22 effects that are good for every single Pokemon game.
Yeah.
Next up, we have Diversity Award. For every different type of Pokemon on your team, each type in a dual count types separately. So like Pidgeotto's normal flying, that counts as 2 different types. You gain 1 rare candy.
Nice. Next one on the list is Jump Up Superstar.
Reference to Mario Odyssey.
You may designate 1 Pokemon on your team as a superstar, and for the rest of the episode, no Nuzlocke rules apply to this Pokemon.
It's like the Invincibility Star from Mario Kart.
You're invincible. You can choose not to nickname them. Those are like the only 2 rules. So, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, they can't faint. I mean, you said invincible. Anyway, we're going to keep moving because we're only on 16, and we have 22 nerfs to get through as well. Next up is Diplomatic Immunity. You can name at least half... If you can name at least half the Pokemon in the next gym, like the next gym leader's team, then you are immune to the effects of all nerfs during that battle.
And that's their actual team, not the randomized team.
Yeah, the actual team. So, like, for example, well, I'm not going to say any of them in case John doesn't know them, but if I named at least one of Brock's 2 Pokemon from his original team,
Steelix.
John could not... He doesn't have a Steelix.
Oh.
John could not play a nerf on me for that gym battle. Or if he's already played one on me, I could then play Diplomatic Immunity to undo it, basically.
All right. Next on the list, we have The Best You Can Be.
Be the best that you can be.
Fully evolve a Pokemon of your choice. It does not have to be on your team.
Uh-oh. Sorry, guys. I scrolled away from it by accident.
Maybe we should be
John.
capturing this instead of just game audio of us standing still.
That's true.
The best you can be. Fully evolve a Pokemon of your choice. It does not have to be on your team, but you must have caught it. And we'll cheat in rare candies to do this.
Yep. Super fun. Super fun. Impossible evolutions should be turned on, so trade evolutions are still allowed. Like that's how you get them, so that's always cool. Next up is The Price is Right. If you play this card, you must use a number generator to choose a Pokedex number that is in the current game.
Yeah, that's National Dex.
Yes, and it'll be the National Dex number. So for this game, it's the first 3 generations of Pokemon. And if you can correctly name the Pokemon that belongs to the National Dex number generated, you get to generate it into the game before the next episode. So, if you get lucky and it's like 151. Hey. Anyway, John, tell us about the next one.
Next one, number 19. Nope. Yes. Number 19. Okay. A risky cage match. You may challenge your opponent to a Pokemon Showdown 1v1. Each player chooses a Pokemon from their current team. The winner earns a revive for their Pokemon.
Indeed. So that's based on cage locks, if you haven't heard of that before. Really fun, unique thing, shaking it up. All right, number 20 is Snake Eyes. If you may re-encounter the first encounter on a route for a chance at a better one, but if you get a duplicate, then you forfeit the encounter altogether. For example, if I walked into a route and I got a Pidgey and I played this card, I could catch the next encounter unless it's a Pidgey, in which case I can't even catch that.
Number 21, a Walk in the Park.
Walk.
You may get, and it's weird because it doesn't have WH.
Cool whip.
You may get 1 extra encounter, but only in the Safari Zone.
That one's always fun. That's probably like the least helpful one on the list, if I'm being honest. But hey, we got it in there.
I don't know. What was Safari Zone in this game? Like 30-ish?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so the last buff in the game is going to be Phoenix Rising. It's actually that's probably the best one for a Nuzlocke. It's a new version of a revive, basically. You may revive 1 Pokemon from any point in the past when the card is drawn, and they are leveled up to the average level of your current team. The card must be played when it is drawn. But it means that you can bring something back. Like if I lost Mudkip really early on, and 30 levels from now I wanted to bring it back, I could level it up to like a Swampert and bring it on the team.
So, Jordan, now that we've read through all the buffs, should we go ahead and draw our starting buff?
Yeah, sure. Let's do that.
All right.
I think I said mine are on the left, right?
Yeah.
All right. I drew Stoner. That means I can generate an Evolution Stone.
Nice. What are you going to get for your Mudkip? Gonna get one of those grass stones?
Oh, yeah. That'll help.
I drew The Best You Can Be. I've already forgotten what that one was.
You fully evolve a Pokemon of your choice. It does not have to be on your team, but you must have caught it. Do this via rare candies.
Could I do that on my Spheal? right
you
now.
could, yeah. And you start episode 2 with a freaking wall rain at like level 42.
Oh, but then I wouldn't be able to like catch anything else.
You wouldn't be able to catch anything else, and I don't know that it would listen to you.
Oh yeah, that's true because we wouldn't have any badges.
So, but hey, that's a really good. Like, if you ever get behind or anything like that, like you're good to go.
Yeah.
All right.
Set
We're gonna go through the nerfs real fast for you guys.
All right. Let me start off with
All
this
right.
new one. It's called Pickpocket. You get to take one of your opponent's cards at random.
So basically, we'll turn our hands upside down, shuffle them up, and then they can pick from them. Cool.
Yep.
Next one is Heist. You can take one of your opponent's cards of your choice, which means you know what you're getting. You get to see them all.
Next, we have returning from the last one, Bankruptcy, which when you play it, your opponent may not spend money for the remainder of the episode.
Another returning card is...
And I think for this,
Yeah.
we should make an exception because, like, don't you have to pay a toll somewhere to get through?
Yeah, I mean, if you have to spend money, I think you can spend money.
So that's the
game.
exception. But for, like, buying healing items and stuff,
Yeah.
no.
The next one is another returning card known as Veteran. If your opponent plays this card on you, you may not use healing items in the next... Oh, no. We made it harder in this one.
Yeah.
If your opponent plays that card on you, you cannot use healing items for the rest of the episode.
In battle. You may not use healing items
in battle,
for
yes.
this
You can heal outside of battle and go to, like, Pokemon centers, but not in battle.
Next
John?
one. Who's that Pokemon? Opponent may not use a Pokemon of your choice in the battle of your choice. That's also a returning one, although we've renamed it from...
Yes.
What did we even have it called in the last
I think it was
one?
called Limit Break.
Oh, yeah.
It was very dumb.
Yeah. Anyway, keep going.
Yeah. Next up is Daze. The opponent reverses their controls for the remainder of the episode. That one was known as Dizzy. It's also a returning card.
Yeah, that was fun. Next, we have Challenger. Create a custom challenge to nerf your opponent. Limits one episode is max duration and cannot kill a Pokemon directly.
So John can't be like, yo, kill your Mudkip. And then I lose. So the next one is Switcheroo. If your opponent plays this card on you, you must switch after each attack, heal, or any other action in a battle for the rest of the episode. So
Ooh,
for
that's
instance,
cool.
like if I say I had a Pidgey, I start the battle with the Pidgey, I use Peck. The next move, I must switch to Mudkip, and then Mudkip gets one action or a heal or something like that, and then immediately switches out again.
That is cruel.
It makes it very hard.
That's going to end up killing someone's team.
Yeah,
at some
it is.
point.
It is.
Next on the list, we have Boxing Day. You are forced to box a Pokemon from your team for the remainder of the episode. However, you may replace them with a different team member.
Next up is another new one known as Required Homework. You may choose one of your opponent's technical machines, not a hidden machine, and force them to teach it to a current team member.
Nice. Next, we have Re-Rack. Force the opponent to shuffle their stored cards back into their respective decks and redraw until the same number of cards are drawn.
So right now, if John were to draw that card, he could force me to reshuffle both my Nerf and Buff back into the deck and draw the next card. And so you don't lose cards, you just don't have the cards you thought you had.
Yeah.
Which can really mess up your card strategy. Next up is Choices. Your opponent must choose to only use either physical or special moves for the remainder of the episode, which in this generation means you can't use certain typings because the special physical split is based on typings in this game.
Next, we have No Rest for the Wicked. If this card is played on you, you may not use the Pokemon Center to heal for the remainder of the episode.
That means only healing items, ladies and gents.
Wait, does this gen have any, like, rest houses or anything?
I think basically you only get to use healing items. I assume that's your question. I don't know if it has a rest house, but
Can you go back to your mom?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I think it's only healing items.
Only healing items,
Yeah.
okay.
Next up is limited resources. You may not use Pokemon that are a higher level than the strongest Pokemon of the next gym leader you face. In the event that one is played, we will have to pause and look up the next gym leader's highest level.
You mean you don't have them all memorized?
I don't. And that, unless you're super over leveling or you play a card where you fully evolve, Like, if you fully evolved into a Walrein right now and I played that card on you, you'd like not be able to move for the rest of the episode, basically.
I mean, I could just run around and grind my level 42 on a bunch of level 5s. Next,
no, you can't use Pokemon a higher level than the strongest. So, like, you would not, if that was your only Pokemon, you just couldn't do anything.
Oh, no.
Yeah, that would be rough.
That would be rough. Okay. Next, we have the Swear Jar. For each time you swear the remainder of the episode, you must stand still for a minute at the start of the next episode.
So that one will probably hurt me more than John. But, hey, it's all good. It's all good. You have a chance to not have any penalty, or you could have a really bad one. All right, next up is Soul Link. For the remainder of the episode, you may not have any 2 Pokemon with a repeated primary typing on your team. You don't have to like release them from the box.
You just have to put them in the box.
Yeah.
Next, we have Who Runs the World. As per Beyonce's lyrics, if this card is played on you, you may only use female Pokemon for the duration of the episode as they run the world.
Who run the world?
Girls.
Who run the world?
Girls.
Who run this mother?
Girls.
Is that the intro moment?
Sure.
Intro moment. All right, John, go ahead and read the next one, too.
All right, next we have The Walking Dead. If this card is played on you, you may only use dead Pokemon from the PC for the duration of the episode or until you white out. So basically, you have to box your team and pull everything out of the dead box.
Yeah, or, choose 6 Pokemon from your dead box. So if you have a small dead box, this is going to be very hard. But, that actually might work out for you, because if you pull out a whole bunch of like dead level 5 Pokemon and you lose like right away, then you get your regular team back.
Yeah.
So who knows? Next up is the Song of My Generation. If this card is played on you, you must speak in a melody for all commentary for the duration of that episode. John really does not want that one.
That's gonna get grating. You're gonna kill our listeners.
Hey, don't hurt my singing voice. I'm gonna go ahead and read the next one because you read 2 in a row just to keep it even. Next up is Germophobia. If this card is played on you, then you must immediately heal all status effects for the duration of the episodes as soon as you are able. If you have an item to do so, you must use it on your next turn in a battle, and if you don't, then you must immediately return to a Pokemon Center after the battle to heal the status effect.
Next, the penultimate nerf, Occam's Razor. The simplest choice is always the best one. You may only use stab moves in battle for the remainder of the episode.
And finally, we have Speeding Ticket. You can only play this card on your opponent if they have at least 1 more badge than you, but it forces them to stand still for 5 minutes. That said, let's draw our nerfs, John.
All right,
I have drawn Required Homework. That means I can force John to teach a TM to a Pokemon on his team.
Okay. I thought that those were the ones where I had to
No, you
like
don't have to
Pokemon
know
numbers.
anything.
I drew Limited Resources.
What does that one do exactly?
We've already forgotten.
There's so many. You may not use a Pokemon that are a higher level than the strongest Pokemon of the next gym leader you face.
Ooh.
That's good that you drew that one, because it means I won't have it to play on you when you evolve your Pokemon. So those are our current hands. To start next episode, we have our starters, and the only thing we have failed to mention is what happens if someone loses the lock while we are playing. And what will happen is that person will start over with a new ROM, and they will be allowed to speed up until the point where they lost. In addition, they will keep all cards they currently have in their stored deck of up to 6 cards, and they will only begin drawing new cards once they have proceeded past the point where they lost.
Yep.
All right, John, you got anything else for the people? That's right about 25 minutes, actually.
Yeah. Nothing else to say except we've been Pokemon Arcade. Like, comment, and subscribe.
Yeah, check us out on all our social medias and stuff. And actually, there is one more thing to say, which is if you guys want to know any of these details, there will be a link to the rules in the description, because there's way too much to put in the description of a YouTube video. Thank you guys for listening, and if you did not, we will explain them as we draw them. Have a great week, everybody.
See you next time.